Hello YouTube, Gundam fans and Gundam builders, this is Connor here again, and this is part 2 of my review of the 1/60th scale perfect grade strike Gundam from the series Gundam Seed. This is part 2 of the review. In the last part, which is part 1, we went over each part individually, and that comes with the movement and gimmicks, but now it is time to finally assemble this guy and to take a look at the accessories that it comes with. And this is what you get when it's fully assembled. The 1/60th scale perfect grade strike Gundam. This thing is really impressive. I'm letting you guys know that right now. And with this finally completed, I guess it's time to move on to the articulation. For the articulation for this guy, you can move the head side to side and forwards and backwards if you so choose, and it can move up and down as well. The shoulders here can move about that far, and then the arms can go about that far up. Forward wise, you can't really push it all the way forward as much, which is a little bit disappointing. I would expect there to be a lot more movement. On Master Grid, you got a lot more movement going this way for the shoulder and the arm. But however, the arm can bend no problems here, just like that. Really nice bend in the arm. It can rotate 360 degrees if you so choose, but I dislike the fact that you can move that 360 degrees because it doesn't look natural. The arm here can also bend about that much, and the hands are really nice. You can kind of bend it to make it look like that it's bending kind of like that. The fingers and the thumbs are individual, so you can articulate them any way you'd want to. As you can see right here, you can bend them, whatever. Let's see. The torso here can move side to side if you so choose, and here you go. You can see a little bit of piping that I did right in there. Pretty small, but hopefully I got that on camera. The side skirts can move individual, forwards and backwards and whatnot. Same thing with the front skirts, they can move all over the place, and the back skirts can move backwards if you so choose. The legs, once again, when you pull or when you bend the leg, you can see the break open armor coming into effect right here, and the knee will also pop out, which is what I'm going to be showing again, revealing a little pipe that's right there. And the ankle guard can only move about up that far somewhat, and the toe can bend all the way down if you so choose, and it can bend up if you wanted to, just like this. Very nice articulation on this kit. I'm very impressed. And now for the next part, it's moving on to the accessories. That's going to be a lot of fun. So we got to get this guy out of the way. Come check out my shit. Starting off with pretty small accessory right here is my custom paint job of the beam rifle, which is pretty nice. The only form of articulation that you're going to get with this thing is that the handle will move side to side, and that's pretty much it. However, you can disassemble this and reveal some piping in there that you can go in detail, but since I'm not going to be doing that, there's not really a need to. But as you can see, this is totally customized. I painted the pipes in there, gold and copper, and I also painted this little rail here chrome just to kind of match the white of the real grade, but I kind of want to just give it my custom little color. And the scope is painted with a metallic blue, and I also painted the little the crosshair, I guess that's what that is, down there chrome, just to give it a little nice little effect. And that's pretty much it, that all you can do. But however, there is another form of articulation somewhat. This little peg down here will move down, and you can insert this into the back of the strike. But also there is a peg or a little slit right here that you can plug into his hand, which is right here. And when it looks pretty good with the beam rifle in hand, but it's not plugged into the hand right now, but that doesn't really matter. It can actually hold it pretty well when it's not when the beam rifle is not plugged into the peg, so I got no problems there. But it looks pretty good with it on there, especially with the little customized paint job that I did. And as you can tell, there is a bit of a color separation between the actual rifle and the scope that's right there. And don't worry, I will throw in what paints and colors that I use for everything, including the battle damage, because I used a new technique. But that's not important right now. What's important right now is that you can actually have them pose with it really well in the hand. And when you flip this tiny little hatch that's right there down, and when you combine it with this peg that's right there, you can have the beam rifle there stored on the back, which looks pretty good. I'm actually going to have him posed with pretty much all of his weapons except the armor Schneider knives, which I will explain why they don't look so good in a minute. But it just looks pretty good right there, and I'm really surprised that they threw that little attachment on there since you can put it onto the back. And why did they not do that with the Master Grade remasters of this Strike and the Strike Rouge? I wonder why they didn't do that. But oh well, that's not the case with this one. You can actually have it stored on there, and it looks pretty good. But moving on to the next one. Next up for the accessories, you get your two armor Schneider knives, which I painted in two different colors. I will explain what they are. But they can fold down like that, and they can fold out like this. The reason why I'm not being, why I'm not posing these is because you could tell that the paint kind of wore off and they just don't look all that awesome. So these are eventually going to get stored in the side skirts, which I will show you. But if you decide to pose it with these, you can actually pull off some really cool poses, which I'm going to show you in a sec. You can pull off a really nice pose with the Strike's trademark little stance with the Armor Schneider knives. My only complaint with the Armor Schneider knives is that you can't plug them into the pegs that are located into the hands, which is really sad. So they're probably going to end up as not as secure with you guys, but because my kit is painted, it actually holds on to these knives really, really well. My only complaint about the look of my knives right now is because of the little paint that got chipped away when I folded them and put them into the side skirts. Speaking of which, to store them into the side skirts, all you have to do is just fold them back and then insert them into the side skirt like so, and then bye-bye, you ugly-ass knife. The next accessory, in my opinion, which is my favorite actually, is the shield. The sheer size of this thing is really impressive, and the form of articulation that you have is this little attachment point right here can move all over the place, and it can fold in, fold out, in case you want to store it somewhere. And the handle here can move down, and you can also make it go up and down toward any direction which you want. So a lot of plug and play here actually. Well, not plug and play. And also there is a little switch right here that you can pop this up and a blast shield will come forward. Mine is really stiff, so I need to use these. So if you do so, then boom. There you go. The little blast shield is up. Let me show you that one more time. No blast shield. Blast shield. But mine's really stiff, so I gotta use these every now and then. And as for details, as you guys can see, I threw on some battle damage and some decals and a little bit of panel lining. Not all that much, but to attach it onto the arm, to attach the shield onto the arm, all you have to do to prepare for it is you gotta pop this little latch open, and then what you gotta do here is that you gotta fold it like so. You gotta make this peg face that way, and then all you do is plug it in side of the little hole that is in his arm. And when you do that, all you have to do next is actually get the handle onto his hand. And what I do here is that I open his hand up, and then all I do is just slide it in with the slide gimmick all the way until I can actually have him grabbing the shield, and what do you know, he's holding the shield. And it doesn't look all that bad. It actually complements the strike really well with the shield. And there it is with the shield. Looks really good actually. No complaints with the shield. Really strong connection in the back too, so I'm very impressed with the shield. It looks great. I love the blast shield that's right there. It's just really nice shield. And then finally the accessory everybody's been waiting for this guy. Yeah, where's Ichigo Kurosaki when you need him? This thing is massive. This is the Grand Slam that comes with this. This thing is pretty much taller than the actual kit itself. This thing is just a huge sword. The only form of articulation that you're really going to get with this thing is that it can bend down, but mine's not going to do that because remember, mine's painted, and I'm probably going to have him ending up with posing him with this Grand Slam. And also the handle can move forward and backwards, but mine can't because it is painted, which is really sad. But as you can see, I decided to paint this a chrome silver. I tried using a metallizer, but it didn't work out all that well, so I just decided to paint it just chrome, and everything else is painted. I even threw on a custom sort of paint job to it. I painted that chrome, and I painted the little spike here chrome just to throw in a little effect. And there are pegs down here so you can attach it into the hand really simply. And once you give him that sword, you're giving Ichigo a run for his freaking money. This kit looks amazing. In fact, I'm going to have him pose just like this. Well, maybe a little action pose, but definitely with the Grand Slam. And with a slightly more attractive pose, you can actually have him pull off some really decent poses with this thing. He holds the sword really well, and I have seen in some photos that you can have him hold the sword with two hands. But I don't really know. I'm not going to try to attempt it. Maybe I might later down the road. But it looks really good with that huge-ass sword and the shield. And of course, not forgetting the beam rifle, which is stored in the back. No hard feelings. So wrapping up my review of this guy, I actually had to move him down or up to my kitchen area because the ghost light was acting up. My freaking dead cat won't stop bothering me, so he keeps on turning on and off the light where I do my reviews in, so it kind of freaked me out, so I went up here. But so this is the final like, I guess part of the review is that I love this kit. I give this kit a thumbs up all the way. My only complaints is that the build was great and everything, but it was really long, and I knew that I was going to expect that of a perfect grade. It's just that it was my first perfect grade, and I didn't expect it to take this long. My second complaint of the kit is my LED module. I wish they could create the LEDs, I guess just create the LEDs at Bandai, and all you have to do is actually just get the battery, put the battery in, and then turn it on and it works. But you actually have to assemble the battery module and everything. So you got to put these little springs, and you got to add the switch, and I guess mine just, the thing wouldn't work, so I had to paint the eyes, so now I can't pull off the LED gimmick that I was really looking forward to. So that's the only negatives that I have on this kit. A lot of positives though. The articulation, outstanding. The details are incredible, and I just love this kit. The accessories, of course, are really amazing. Actually, I do have one more complaint. My other complaint is, why did this not come with the Ale Strike pack? Why wait another few years and release it with the Strike Rouge? I do not know. And the Strike Rouge comes with the Sky Grasper and of course the Ale Strike pack, but that is very expensive, and this is very cheap when it comes to that. So, but there is also a clear version of this kit commemorating, I guess, like the something anniversary of Gundam Seed. It comes with the Ale Strike or the Ale Strike pack, and of course the Strike Gundam itself, but all of this is clear. Every single armor is clear, so of course you're going to be revealing the details and everything, but all that is gone now because it was like a premium Bandai release, I guess, but that's all gone. So that's all my complaints and everything, but now I guess you guys want to know how I painted up this guy and how I weathered him and whatnot. So for basic paints and everything like that, starting off with the red, I used a Bulwarks Red. It's a enamel paint. And for the yellow, I used a Tamiya Flat Yellow, and that's XF3. This is an acrylic. For the white, I used a Mr. Color White. Mr. Color is its own paint. I hand brushed the Mr. Colors, and then I used a flat top coat to just finish that all off. With the blue, for the blue trim and everything, I used a acrylic blue X4. And for the light gray, you can tell that the color separation, like up here on the shoulder and whatnot, I used a light gray Mr. Color. And for the pipes and everything, I used a chrome silver enamel because I like the enamel chromes a lot better. And I used a gold leaf, and sadly I don't have the bottle with me, but the gold leaf was a Tamiya acrylic. The cameras and the scope for the beam rifle was a Mr. Color metallic blue. I strongly suggest this for future kits, so definitely get yourself one of these. For the black weathering, I'll do the weathering stuff last actually. For the beam rifle, for the main color of the beam rifle, I used a NATO black, which is what I used right here. It's a acrylic XF69, which is what NATO black is. And for the scope, like for the main color of the scope, not the lens, for like the outer part of the scope, I used a gunmetal, just so that way I can have a little color separation. And I did use the exact same chrome for the trim that I custom painted as well. Now for the battle damage, of course I used the chrome silver for dry brushing and everything, and I also used a black. It was a gloss black, but I ended up using a flat top coat anyway, so remember, it doesn't really matter just as long as you have a flat top coat. But I also used, just to make it look like I got like this little grayish effect, I used this Mr. Color metallic black. It's pretty much just a gunmetal, but even more sparkly. And I dry brushed with that, and I actually really like the way it came out, and it looks really good. All the battle damage does. It just looks really amazing right now with all the battle damage that I did. And for battle damaging it, I pretty much just used a Dremel tool with a sanding piece, and I just went to town. I didn't do a lot of extreme battle damage. However, on the shield right here with the beam saber slash, I used my soldering iron to get that effect. So that's pretty much all I did with this kit. It looks really good. I'm not going to be throwing in pictures with this guy, sadly, but however, if you guys want me to post pictures of this thing, let me know in the comments, and just have a good night. Peace. Thank you all for watching.